Hey guys, so while I've been making these videos, I've been getting a ton of requests to do them on footwork and specifically on pivots. So today we're going to talk about pivots. Before we get into them specifically, just a quick note about footwork in general. The type of footwork I was taught and that I believe in focuses first on positioning. What is that? It's a whole broad topic on its own, but the gist of it is that we're going to focus on moving into better positions to hit the other guy while taking ourselves out of position to be hit, or at least to be hit cleanly. Okay, with that in mind, we need to focus on what does it mean to be in a good position. Basically, as we're moving, the golden rule of footwork is to never get yourself out of your own stance. Don't put yourself in an off-balance position, a position where you're not facing the other guy without him doing something to make you do that. Don't make any unforced errors. So, we'll start in our stance. Just basic stance, lead foot pointed roughly forward, rear foot about 45, hips and knees engaged, shoulder width apart, all that basic, day one stance stuff. Now I'm just going to not move myself out of this position in any of its parameters as I use my movements. So I'm not going to cross my feet. I'm not going to square up to you. I'm not going to get too wide or too narrow. I'm just going to keep my good stance no matter what direction I'm moving. And you should already know your basic, front, back, side to side footwork. You kind of need to learn that from a coach. Assuming you already have that in mind, let's move on to the pivot. It follows the same fundamental rules as other types of footwork, where you maintain your stance, you move the foot in the direction you're going first, all that good stuff. So let's start with the pivot off to the left. And now a lot of people say, oh, you have to circle away from the power hand all the time. It's not really true. You need to be able to circle towards the power hand effectively. In fact, it's the way most people prefer to go because it's easier to work their jab going that way. And it lets you diffuse the power hand if you move towards it correctly. And good pivoting is a huge part of being able to move towards the power hand without getting caught by power shots. All right, so let's talk about those mechanics. You start with a turn in of your lead foot. And then you swing your back foot around. It's pretty much that simple. The problem is people do all these little mistakes where they cross their feet. For example, step the back foot first and then look at the position my feet are in. Imagine if I got caught by a hook here, if someone kicked my leg, anything like that. I'm on my ass. Plain and simple. So I'm going to stay in a good position throughout the movement, where if I turn this foot in and swing it around, you'll notice that at no point in that am I severely off balance. Okay? Another important point is that my feet are moving one at a time. I've seen people teach this, like you come up on this foot and you spin around to emphasize the turning on the foot. I don't like that because we're not ballerinas, we're boxers. You're going to move one foot at a time and try to keep at least one foot on the ground at all times. I don't want to move like this, where I'm up on the ball of the foot and I'm just spinning like that. I want my lead foot that I'm turning on to be planted and ready to hold my weight before my back foot swings around. All right? That way I'm grounded throughout the whole movement and balanced. Now moving to the right is essentially the opposite of that. Instead of coming up on the ball, my lead foot, turning it in and swinging the foot around, end up in my nice balanced position at the end. I'm going to come up on the ball on my right foot, step it out, and then adjust my lead foot to face this new angle. You'll notice that when I turn, my feet aren't coming in on a line or getting any more square. They're staying in the exact same angle, distancing, spacing, everything that I started in the first place. So again, up on the ball, the right foot, step out, turn in. Up on the ball, step out, turn to face the new angle. The important part of this is that by staying grounded throughout the movement and then dropping my weight a little bit at the end of the pivot, I'm going to be able to throw my counterattacks off that pivot, right? By staying connected to the ground throughout my movements, I'm always ready to attack or to defend. Maybe I slip a shot, then I turn my pivot off here, roll under a little bit, slip a shot, boom, I come here, I'm working my defense, working my blocks. I need to be able to combine this footwork with all my defensive movements. My blocks, my parries, my whatever. That way, I'm effective in all positions and at all angles, and I can keep the other guy turning so he can't get off a big series of punches on me. That's using pivots as a defensive tool. They can also be used as an offensive tool. When I'm coming forward, I don't need to come straight in, boom, boom, boom. That was the 1-1-2 coming straight forward. Now, let's do the 1-1-2 coming in at an angle. Do you see that with my pivot step, as I step in, watch that lead foot turn in as I'm stepping forward, right? That lets me advance while changing the angle. And I come back in. This way, the opponent needs to turn to face me as they're dealing with my punches, making it a lot more difficult to defend and to set up their counters. Can do that going to the right too. See, turning off to the right, I step forward with it, and boom, I come in. I've been showing this all with just punches, by the way, but pivoting isn't, unique to boxing. It's a universal tool in martial arts. Let's say, for example, a common one, I'm in the Thai clinch. I turn, boom, I deliver a knee. It works to off-balance someone in any context. Even in wrestling, if I sprawl on the guy, what do I do next? I try to use some kind of pivoting footwork, and I hit my go-behinds. Okay, so pivoting and the idea of angling is universal to martial arts. I've just been showing specifically more of a boxing context, but you can mix it up and use whatever art you want, okay? You can step off to your side and use that to set up your low kick. All different applications, all different styles it can work in. The idea is to keep that fundamental footwork, that groundedness, and work your angles. Okay, you can also use them going backwards. Let's show that too. I showed them in place. I showed them going forward. So let's show them going backwards. It's the same. It's the same turn and push and adjust the other foot, but you can do them while pushing forward or while pushing backwards, right? So when I'm going forward, I push off the back foot as I turn the lead foot in and come there. Push forward, boom. Going backwards, I'm going to push backwards with my lead foot as I turn. Or push backwards. Okay? See, that simple footwork can take me in any direction I need to go. It's very important to be able to move in all those directions while I'm pivoting, and you'll be able to do that as long as you stay connected to the ground. And that's your basic pivot.